The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us while we take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Sorry, I forgot my lighting.
It's okay. Look, we need those cheeks rosy, man. We need them rosy. Glow. We need them a glow. There it is. Like, look, if I do. Oh, go ahead. Say that again,
Like a snow country child.
Exactly. Like, in fact, do us a favor, Jay. Just grab the right one to pinch it for us. Just pinch it for us, Jay. Grab your right cheek and pinch it for us. Pinch it.
I will not.
Jay, you son of a bitch. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invotable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
What's up?
What's up, indeed? You know what's up with Moses Magnum? Potential birthday.
Yeah. Don't understand. I finally I remember that one year where I wanted to pop out of a cake for Jay, and I even like rented that Marilyn Monroe dress and everything, and he says I don't want to do anything for my birthday. Like I was gonna sing to him like he's JFK, you know? And he said, no, I haven't, for like 3 years, like, I don't feel like celebrating. I kind of finally feel like that.
Listen, I feel like Jay's been like that since he turned like 15.
The thing about
like,
that is that's exactly when you do something like that.
He's like, so down from here. I'm like, what?
In this day and age, consent and all.
Like, oh my God. What? Ladies and gentlemen, it's our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
So sorry I'm late. I had to.
It's Oz.
I just got home. Is that no? That's on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. You just your cue.
You just kept introducing me like I wasn't saying anything. Yeah, I just got home. I had to, pet the wife and kiss the dog. But I'm here.
Hey, there it is. Living that Midwestern dream. There it is. How's myself? My name is Lawrence Young. What'd you say, Bo?
That's how they do it in Milan. Very European.
That's how they do it. There it is.
He's a dog.
Look, no lies detected.
He's got pedigree. I found his papers again. I'm like looking at his history. I'm like, oh, these are all show dog names.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Your puppy is royalty? Your puppy is next in line for the throne in England?
Genetically designed to be pretty, which really made my wife regret having me neuter him, as she should.
There it is.
But look, it's look, you're better off, man.
Oh yeah, he's getting crazy.
When you're out of town, it would have fucked your wife.
Wait, what? What? What kind of dog is that?
Dude, fucking huskies. Dean is neutered. Emily's uncle brought his 2 new puppies. He got these 2 beautiful Shar-Peis, both female. Dean saw one of them and he fell in love. Like his chest puffed out and he's looking. And I told my wife, I'm like, look, Dean's in love. Watch out. And sure enough, like he just goes behind her and then just grabs her, talking about like a 20, 25-pound dog and just pulls him close to like mount her, and he's neutered. And then we went to the dog park today, and there was a dog in heat there, and he tried to fuck her too. And then so he settled for just eating her ass. But and that's neutered. Like
Actually, mine goes after other dogs. So I have to tell the people, look, you can check. He's neutered. I don't know why he's doing that. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah. And I've never seen that with other dogs that are fixed. Like usually they just don't care. Dalmatians, Chihuahuas, like, but with Huskies, they don't give a fuck. Like,
But he's less likely to get in a fight. So he's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, he's not aggressive about it. He's just aggressive about fucking, but not about territory.
There was times that he would fight anybody. He just walked around the park like, "What's up? Who wants to fight?"
It's like he's like, I got no balls, but I still got that dick.
Damn.
Welcome to the show, fellas.
Yeah, exactly right. There it is.
This
is why we play
dog dick.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
It's alliteration.
I mean,
dog dick. That's the title of this episode.
It isn't it like technically like consonants?
Look, Larry, I don't have your fancy college degree. All right. Thank
That's
you.
all good.
On my birthday week, you're really like, making me feel good about my lack of education.
Oh, please.
You know I have a condition. You know
I might be wrong.
You know never mind. You know I'm illiterate.
Right. Exactly. I'm Mary Young, by the way. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. we got a great show for you today, as you can see. Look, we are going to be talking to you all about Justice League, Cross, RWBY,
Slash RWBY, right?
No, one is Cross.
One is Cross, one is Slash.
And one is Slash. See, that's what I'm saying. Look, Justice League, Cross, RWBY, Superheroes, and Huntsmen, Part 1, which is the new animated film that came out. And then we're also going to be talking to you about the comic, which is, in fact, DC RWBY, numbers 1 through whatever we decided to read.
So we're not doing RWBY/DC.
Correct.
RWBY/Justice League.
Look.
Exactly. Listen. Listen.
Why can't he just be in Guns N' Roses and be happy? Oh, they're not.
Right. Yeah, I was out here causing problems. I agree. Anyway, so we got that. Plus, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about, we'll tell you how to do that in just a moment. But before we do, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. We also want to let the intern tell you about how it is you can get down with FF. So here's how.
You got it, Jay, or should I do?
Oh, I thought you had it.
I thought you had it.
Here's how. Look, here we got 2 people on it, and no one wants to push a button. Here's how. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Oz. Thank you. Oz is on.
Get in on the
We could get a clear
Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Thank you. See? Look, on my birthday week, I tell you.
Oh, you're appropriating this birthday too?
Wait, what does that mean? How many birthdays have I appropriated? Wait a minute.
The turkey's birthday? Thanksgiving?
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? The turkeys. Anyway.
Next, he's going to be a Christmas baby.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I'm God's gift.
And then St. Patrick's.
My sister used to say that. She's actually born on Christmas Eve. Or Christmas. I don't pay attention to these things.
Dang. I was like, I don't know which major holiday my sister was born on.
So,
I love it.
Conceived on St. Patrick's Day then, huh?
probably. Or
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo, and she's just a little preemie.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the
Damn.
way she talks sometimes, I kind of get that feeling.
Wow. So yeah, go to Fantastic Forum.
Wow.
Fantasticforum.live. I'm sorry, I was about to say .com.
Too.
I was about to say .com, but it's .live, and you can become the 5th member of Fantastic Forum, or you can go ahead if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, we'll take your comments directly directly out of chat and bring them into the show. Such as Jay. Why don't you insert a witty chat comment here for us, Jay? Make it so.
Tiger Claw says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? What you thought of the new trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beast? Unicron is coming."
Look, Tiger Claw is off his game. That was his comment last week. He's supposed to be talking about either Doom 2 or what's the other thing that came out earlier this week? The new Flash trailer? Are we talking about the new Flash trailer too?
There's a third Flash trailer from Japan that apparently got everybody going nuts.
Yeah, what's in that?
Why? Yeah,
They think that in one of the scenes they see the other Barry turning into Dark Flash. Like supposedly like there's like a spike coming out of him or something. I don't know. It's stupid.
Now when you say Dark Flash, what's that mean? That's not
like
actually a character, right?
The half dead zombie looking Flash. Dude, there's so many at this point I can understand.
Oh, like I might not be
They
familiar
probably
with
have
that.
more information.
Necro something or other, right? Like
Like-
he's not
like-
Flash, but he's like inverted Flash.
Like in the TV show, there was a Flash, like a death wraith Flash that
Yeah, the time
like,
wraith.
the timeline or something like that.
Oh,
I don't know. I know there was another like Black Flash. Not
Wally West.
no, but actually, in the world he came from, he was like Walter West or something, like a dark version of Wally West, but not like the new dark version that is now the new Wally West, but
Yeah.
the redheaded.
The new urban Wally West.
Yeah, it's not urban Wally West. It's the other Wally West.
Okay.
Speaking
like
of it,
Oz. Oh, go ahead. Speaking of
the
which,
Flash TV show. I don't know why they hate the Spectre.
Don't tell me that, man.
Like Homeboy comes back. Was it Stephen Amell? It's like I'm the Spectre now. I'm gonna help you because the multiverse is in danger, and that I can get involved now. I'm like, well, that's not the Spectre. The
Yeah.
Spectre is like the spirit of vengeance. He should. Yeah, it's exactly what he was in season 1. He was there for revenge, and so he shows up and he's Green Arrow, but he shoots an arrow and like it glows green at the end of it.
so he doesn't even look like the Spectre at all.
No, he's just regular ass CW Green Arrow.
Not only do they hate the Spectre, they also hate Hal Jordan
and Jon Stewart because he does ask Diggle about refusing the Green Lantern ring. I go like this because now they don't even acknowledge it's a ring; they just call it the box. And it said that he rejected it.
Is
he,
it a
he
bracelet?
rejected the power
Shang-Chi and
to be with his family because it's all about family. And the Spectre, who now has knowledge of the universe, tells him, "Oh, that box was sent to you to tempt you, and you gave it up for family. Go be with your family." It's like nothing. He didn't tell him about the Green Lantern Corps. He didn't say, "Hey, maybe you might want to reconsider this and go help the galaxy." Nah, it's about family.
Family.
Hate that show.
Damn.
That was a good Wally West episode though, because none of the episodes are about Barry Allen anymore.
Like
after 10 years.
Go ahead, Jay.
Tiger Claw says, "But it's Unicron. We are finally getting a proper version and not the one where Unicron is the Earth."
You don't know that.
It's
probably the origin. It's the origin of how he becomes the Earth.
since it's Beast Wars, right? It's in the past anyway.
Well, it's not Beast Wars because otherwise they'd be calling it Beast Wars. Because they're not fighting
Oh, no,
anybody. They're not fighting. There's no wars going on.
listen, I've heard, and I don't know this because I'm not doing any research on any of these Transformers movies because that's not what I do.
I know you just like to watch them cold like a fan. I got it. Go ahead.
No, I don't watch them. Period. Listen, but supposedly the bad guys that are in the movie are called Terracons.
Terracons?
Like Scourge is a Terracon, supposedly. No, don't leave the show, Bo. We didn't make it.
Dude, man, like, look, you could have them fighting like just one big threat, like Rampage. Just towards to Rampage.
Yeah.
Like, and you still have a good movie that isn't Beast Wars, be a decent Beast Wars story. And you telling me they call them Terracons? See, look, even Larry left. Like Larry.
On top of that, they're saying that I don't even believe this comment. He's saying Rise of the Beast is erasing the Michael Bay movies from continuity. Rise of the Beast is a Michael Bay continuity movie. It's not erasing nothing.
Well, but Bumblebee was supposed to be a soft reboot, right?
Maybe it's.
I don't even think so. No, it was just trying to be a pocket where it's like you can do new things before, like prequely or prequely.
Okay. I mean, okay. I
don't know. I didn't watch them.
Y'all would know better than I would.
Yeah.
Because like I said,
you can't tell me you're this movie, which is a Michael Bay movie with Michael Bay characters, is erasing the Michael Bay continuity because it's just continuing on.
Well, but Bumblebee wasn't it wasn't the same characters from Michael Bay, right?
I'm talking about the new movie coming up.
But the new movie I thought was like a sequel to like those Bumblebee movies.
I thought the original trilogy was a sequel to the Bumblebee movie.
No, and I don't know. Like, again,
he was actually that Volkswagen Bug in that movie, right?
I thought, but he wasn't a Volkswagen Bug ever in the Michael Bay movies.
You don't know if not ever, just not by the time LaBouffe got to it.
Maybe that's why he hit the bug because he's like, you know what? Let me protoform into that. Because it's like I want him to buy me. So yeah,
it's not the 80s anymore.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? This guy needs a better kind of car. Let me just
trying to get laid. Last person was a girl. She had no problems getting laid. She can be in whatever car she wanted.
What do you say, Jay?
He's like, I don't want nothing to do with this.
I know Jay's like, I'm not even on this show. Jay looking at us like he is the first time he's ever seen Fantastic Four. He's like, what is this bull?
He's actually 40 hours deep in Jedi Survivor.
I actually have a problem with Unicron. We don't see the claw, like the mandibles.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. And I was trying to pull up a picture of it way harder than it's supposed to be. So I was going to just go through the trailer and kind of freeze frame it to bring it up. But yeah, without the mandibles, is it really Unicron? Like, it could just be Omega Supreme.
You are hilarious. I love that. That might just be Omega Supreme. Wait, what? And don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with the point you're making. It's just so hilarious that it's like, that could be Omega Supreme. And it's like, wow. Like, Jay's like, without the mandibles, that joint's so unrecognizable that, look, he's like, he just looking at the colors. He's like, "Who's that? Sandstorm?" It looked like grapple to me. That's too funny, man. This was like all I saw was an orange robot. I'm not sure which one it is. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I apologize for laughing so hard. I hear making friggin' hardcore Transformer humor jokes. Like, cats are like, what is he talking about? All those robots are the same color, or are various colors of orange. I apologize. Okay.
Tyreclaw says you can clearly see the ring and the claws.
I can't get the link out of this chat thing, so
Yeah, you need to send it to us at fantasticforum@gmail.com. That way you can move it up for you.
I have it up, and I don't see what he's talking about.
Do you know what Unicron's supposed to look like in regards to mandibles in the front?
How dare you?
Well, you got it right behind you. You can bring it up to camera, right?
No, that's the other one.
That's a Green Lantern symbol.
He's talking to you, Lawrence.
Larry.
No, look, no, I got the robot form. What Jay's talking about is it in planet form.
Oh,
so
okay.
I need it. Yeah, because in planet form, which look, I will say this that like, and I thought you were talking to Oz because I was just like, oh, I didn't even know Oz had the Unicron in there. I was like, what? So, this box is trying to open. So, okay. So these things on his head,
yeah,
are the mandibles generally that Jay's talking about.
Like when they sucks in planet, like
right,
yeah,
they pinch the planet.
I watched
Jay's saying that
he does have a couple of pincers in this image.
Oh yeah, in the front.
Yeah. It's just one of them is like at the top of the picture, so you kind of just see the spike.
Oh yeah.
Where is it?
Here's one, and then here's the other one.
Oh, that explains why we don't have Saturn anymore.
That's a very like
you have to lighten up the image a lot.
There's a lot.
I'm not seeing it.
Earth.
I don't see either, but my eyes aren't good. So if you all see it, I'll take your word for it. Because
the way it's coming out in the shared screen is a lot darker than in my actual screen for some reason.
It's
I don't know how I can lighten this up.
I'm gonna go to Discord and see if I can.
And I will say this: I'll give them props for having a recognizable Unicron. Like I look at that, despite the lack of pincers, and I'm like, oh, that's Unicron. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like there's no part of me that believes that interpretation of Unicron is going to be anything that is going to feel faithful to the adaptation of the character that I know as Unicron, whether we're talking about the animated or the comics.
They are not pincers.
No, I think I see them.
It just looked like the rings around them to me.
There is a ring around here.
Yeah. The ring I see.
And right here are pincers. Like here's the point of it. And it goes around like this to here. That's where it connects to the circle thing. And here you just see the point of it right there. It's really dark on this shared image that you guys are looking at. But it's my screen.
I just brightened it up real quick, and I'm gonna see if I can share it with you guys.
Do it. But like even just seeing look, the eyes in Michael Bay or live action Transformers movies, like the eyes don't work right. And we got what seemed like it was a quick glimpse of Unicron's eyes. And I was just like, I don't know, man.
Okay, I see one pincer for sure. Okay, there it is. There's just not a lot of dimension right here. They're more diagonal than.
I mean, they're too far. They're supposed to be up front. They look like they're on the side.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That's why, because I kept looking towards the front, and
Yeah.
they're more like arms than pincers at this point.
Right.
Look,
Right. And hey, listen, I'm gonna give them just props enough for, like I said, it's recognizably Unicron. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's almost like how you mess around, and if you put Batman's ears in the wrong place, people are gonna be like, "What's wrong with that Batman?" But they'll know it's Batman. if you mess around and you put him too far back, and this fool looks like Black Panther with his mouth out instead of Batman, then you're just like, okay, what's happening? Like, why who bought that Batman costume and put it in the comic? It's like, okay, no big deal. It's like, hey, listen, here's the sad fact of the matter. We're at a place, at least for me and fans like myself, where I'm just like, the fact that I recognize the character for who it's supposed to be, that's a win. It doesn't matter that it's off. You know what I mean? It's like the last time I saw a character and I was like, oh man, they got Starscream. That's amazing. And that joint turned out to be what? Thundercracker or Skywarp? I don't remember which one it was. And I was just like, why would you do this? Like, why would you clearly use
Soundwave?
I was just like, why would you use Starscream's color scheme and then name the jet something different? Like, if you're gonna use Skywarp or Thundercracker, like, it turns out that that jet has a color scheme, huh?
It's just a repaint. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you can repaint it if it's a repaint of a different color. Like, you can't repaint Skywarp into Starscream colors and be like, oh no, that's Skywarp, but repaint. It's like, no. They're Seekers. It's like, when you repaint a Seeker, it's a new character. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got friggin' a lime green Seeker. That's friggin' Acid Rain or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different Seeker.
I got I found a way better picture to get a really good look.
Do it.
Let me see if I can. Okay, I think you can see the pincers in this one. You just bring that up there. And you see a lot more of the detail, actually. See, here's one pincer, and here's the other. Yeah, this is a better angle.
Look, it's sad that this is actually more accurate to the character.
Yeah, if it could look like this in the movie, you wouldn't mind.
Like, I would.
It's gotta have the claws, like the claw mouth.
I see that.
Oh yeah, look. These are just the lips. The claws are actually in here. You can see it retracts and then claws.
It's so funny because, like, this is like one of the early Unicron toys that they made, and at the time, this was phenomenal. Like, this was as good as Unicron toys could get. And then, of course, like, Hasbro made one, and that joint was pretty phenomenal. But personally, like, for my money, the third-party Unicron that they made, that joint is the best looking Unicron to me. Like, that one right there that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, you got your little whatever you wanted right here, and then you got, I guess technically they're still pincers.
Yeah, but they're in the right
absolutely.
place. They're in the right place, and you got the claw mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the HasLab one right there.
Yeah.
But then they have the
watching videos.
What
of
is it?
Transform these.
Right. Oh, dude, it's a mission. It's a mission. Like, understand, like, because keeping in mind that this joint, like, that joint is not a small toy.
It's like
joint
3 feet across or something like that.
It's crazy, something like that. Like, it is a chore. But the best chore.
Holy crap! Oh, yeah, I got.
I could only imagine buying it and having my dog chew it.
like it is like it's like a baby. Like when you transform it into robot mode, it's like a baby size.
It's better than a baby.
It's better than a baby. Your baby is not living up to HasLab Unicron.
Right. Like, and it's 8 hours of labor as opposed to like, whatever epidural she took.
But they had a cell, what is it called? Zero or Cell 01? Something like that, but it's like a third party Unicron. And for me, I'm like, that's the best one. Like that joint is pretty awesome. And it has its like, its drawbacks too, but that's the one, like if I bought one, because Lord knows, like all of these they were hundreds and hundreds of dollars when they came out. And then now in aftermarket, they're even more expensive. But like,
like $400 on eBay.
No, that's not it. Like, or at least if it is, that's like some kind of.
Look at this.
It's painted different. No, I think
those are just
that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's not
I know.
it.
I got a little chub.
They don't translate.
I'll see if I could find it real quick.
Oh yeah, look,
But
got an opening right there. Yeah.
oh my God, really?
You know
You
what
sons of
hey,
bitches.
let me stop sharing because this is going private.
That's too funny.
Bookmark.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you, gents? I tell you. So here, like I can share. So, oh no, that's what you call. That is actually that's the Studio Cell one right there. Or Cell, yeah. But that's the robot mode. And then there is when you see it in it's planet mode, like yeah, I like that one better. It feels it's more animation accurate. So, but anyway, I tell you. You said you can get one of those, Jay, for $400 on eBay, or one of the HasLab ones?
No, one of those.
For $400? Oh, wow, that's not
You gotta
bad.
get it now because after the movie, it's gonna go up.
No, I'll just wait. Look, it'll fade away again.
Like
It's
it might
okay.
lose value. After that movie, it might lose value.
It might. They're like, nobody wants no Unicrons no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
They're
seeing
like,
the Studio Cell one for 400.
yeah, I like that one more. Like, even though like they had two that they came out with, because one is like that one I think is the pumpkin one, and that one is more close to the comic color scheme, and then they did another one, the original one, which is more like the animated movie color scheme,
Like more golden.
and I like it's I don't even know if I would say it's more golden. I feel like it. Well, you know what? I guess maybe golden is the right word, because yeah, it is like a lighter yellow
Which one's the
or a
green
lighter
one?
orange. I don't know what the green one is.
Transformers Encore Unicron Micron combined color version. It looks like a lantern
Battery?
thing. No, not battery. But like a construct.
That might be. I don't. Micron sounds familiar. That might be
You know what I really want?
toy
And
stuff.
This Beast Wars movie is not gonna have it. It's
What's
just
that?
one big giant fucking Unicron head.
Yeah,
like-
that'd be cool.
Just the head.
It could have it at the end.
Nah,
Like,
but
I can
no,
see.
well, no, because in the way that it came out about was like the only way that race of aliens could convey a threat to them was to be something that they would fear, and it was Unicron. So it read their mind, their data stream, and just like the commonality with all of them picked Unicron. So it's like, this is not what we look like. This is just how you know that upon looking at us, you know that we're a threat to you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the movie's gonna have that at all.
No, I'm thinking more so like it would not surprise me if this movie like pulled one of those moves where like they try to like emulate a scene from like Transformers the movie, like the actual like 1986 Transformers the movie, and like what after Unicron like died, his head like floated around the planet or whatever. Like it would not surprise me if they try to do something like that as like
no, because this is the origin of how he becomes Earth.
You don't need the head to be Earth, maybe.
Well, you do if you're gonna plant your seed.
The head will become the moon.
Or the second moon if they actually follow Beast Wars.
No, there it is. Right.
So 2 moons, so those are his balls.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into these reviews. Friggin' talking about Transformers.
This is the most Transformers talk you're ever going to hear from us because we're probably not going to watch this movie.
I'm going to watch it.
No.
Lawrence has to watch it.
I don't have to do anything.
Look, just because Mark Wahlberg isn't in this one doesn't mean you can avoid it.
Listen, I've never even seen a full Transformers movie with Mark Wahlberg in it.
See, that's a lie right there because we watched one together.
We didn't finish.
Well, yeah, because after I came, I fell asleep, but you were still going strong.
Nah, man.
I had to be careful which side my head fell.
I was like, no, thank you. I was like, I didn't want to watch that terrible movie to begin with.
I was fell asleep. Let's turn this shit off.
I saw a friggin' another thing on YouTube where somebody was like, "This is the moment Optimus Prime in the Transformers movies, the Bayverse Transformers movies, became a psychopath." And I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense to me." That fool does he looked like a psychopath in all the trailers to me. This fool's like why does Transformers why does live action Optimus Prime want everybody's face? Like this fool rips faces off all the time. Nobody thinks that's a weird thing. Like that feels weird to me as somebody that's a fan of Optimus Prime as a character. Yeah. Like I saw a clip where he literally "Give me your face." I was like, what? Why would Optimus Prime say that? Huh?
I haven't watched these movies.
Yeah, that happened in the Michael Bay movie. He's like,
oh no, never mind. That was John Woo.
I haven't finished. I haven't paid attention enough to these movies to actually even notice that.
Dude, listen, and that's what I'm saying. As a Transformers fan, it's sad because the main, or not maybe I won't say the main.
The whole thing is freedom is the right of every sentient being.
Right.
Or something like that, and some bullshit like that, and and here's "Give me your face."
So, how do you, as a so-called Transformer fan that doesn't watch the movies, how do you feel about them getting rid of Cullen and replacing him with Thor?
Right. So
that's a thing.
Yeah, that is a thing. Listen. So wait. So there's a Transformers animated movie that's supposed to come out next year. And
the first Transformers animated movie.
Say again?
The first Transformers animated movie.
I think Deadline.
Joe, I will whoop your ass, Joe. Don't mess around and say
your ass.
Don't out here put this fake nonsense out here, Jay. Don't do it, Jay.
Wait, Lawrence, you know where he got that from?
Weird.
Right?
Why would
I don't care where you got it from? I'm trying to say who
other people's news. That's a legitimate news site, and we're are you trying to say they're fake news?
I'm trying to say they don't know Transformers. That's what I'm trying to say.
I see where.
So Yeah. Chris Hemsworth is going to be playing Optimus Prime, and friggin' what's old boy's name? Brian Tyree Henry is going to be Megatron, I think. Which that's old boy that was Faustus in Eternals, and he's Doughboy in Atlanta, and he's been in a lot of movies. He was in friggin' Money Train or whatever.
Should he be Megatron?
Yeah,
What's
he's
his
gonna be
name?
Megatron.
No, but should he? Like, do you think he's
I mean, here's what I'll say. The premise of the story for the movie sounds promising. I would not have picked either one of these two individuals to be Optimus Prime or Megatron. However, they're both good actors.
What do you think of the rest of the cast?
From what I've seen,
Here, let me go over it real quick because we're just
go
talking
ahead.
like we know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, Scarlett Johansson is Elita 1. Well,
Right.
Elita, but Elita 1. Keegan Michael Key, that's the bald one, right? He's Bumblebee.
Yes.
John Hamm is Sentinel Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion.
Right.
That's a good voice too.
And the premise of this movie is supposed to be like it's kind of doing like the IDW. No, I'm sorry, not the IDW. No, that is the IDW, right? The basically the comic story where like Prime and Megatron start off as comrades. They're friends. And eventually there's like a rift that happens between the two of them, and they end up
not going to college, huh?
So they end up on two separate sides of a war,
a union,
and so this is like literally like the whole movie supposedly is supposed to take place on Cybertron, and it's all about like like Transformer like backstory and lore and like how we got to where you eventually get to in like say the beginning of the original animated series. And I'm not saying that like it follows that continuity exactly, but that seems to be where it's going.
So,
but
what are like the Vegas odds that they shoehorn people into the movie anyway?
Dude, Jay, look, if it's a whole Transformers movie on Cybertron and somehow a human just happens to the sad fact of the matter is the Vegas odds of that should be like zero. Like it can't happen. It should be zero. But when you're talking Hollywood, who knows, man? Who knows? Like I can't even say zero. I don't think it doesn't sound likely, especially that it's animated and because I'm like that story sounds promising. Would I have preferred to have that same exact story with those characters and preferred like a Peter Cullen and a Frank Welker doing voices? Yeah, I would have preferred that. At the same time, look, Peter Cullen and Frank Welker aren't immortal. Like if you're planning franchises, I don't know if you're going to do it around like surrounding.
Neither is James Earl Jones, but they already got an AI algorithm ready for it.
Yeah, but I don't want. I mean, dude, look for Darth Vader. I'll take AI algorithm Darth Vader because the voice is so iconic and it feels like. I mean, nobody really does a good James Earl Jones. I feel like you can.
That's not true. You never heard me.
Oh, jeez. Look,
you're shitting on me like you shit on Stallone last week.
But what I will say is the voice cast isn't terrible, and as long as the story is sound, I feel like those actors can deliver on solid material. So here's hoping. I am cautiously optimistic about it, honestly, because I just the fact that it's animated. Why are we doing the?
Because
It's not even Disney.
It's the whole Disney Marvel cast
No,
reunited.
I honestly, I really thought it was Disney because all the people in it are like Disney contractors, like Scarlett Johansson, Hemsworth.
So listen,
except for John Hamm, but
every actor worth their salt at this point has been in a Marvel movie.
Not really, no.
Just about. Like the only ones that haven't are the like seasoned folks, right? Like like Denzel Washington has not been in a Marvel movie, but guess what? That's Denzel Washington. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, like
why is he doing a third Equalizer?
Why not?
I'm in.
Because no one wants it.
I would like it.
I don't want it.
He can never be equalized.
I definitely would. I've never seen not the Equalizer, but I watch all the fight scenes.
What?
I watch all the fight scenes.
Equalizer is great.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine, but I don't have time. Look, I'm old. Like, time's running out. Like, I only watch the fight scenes.
Time is running out.
Why is Washington the Equalizer? I thought Queen Latifah took that over.
That's the TV one.
Yeah, yeah, which is great too.
Like Queen Latifah, you need a larger screen.
Well, it's great.
Wow! How dare you? How dare you? Look, I wish Queen Latifah would show up to your door and whoop your ass.
Here's the thing about Queen Latifah as the Equalizer. They try to do the martial art like type stuff. I think she could just punch people out, like just walk up to you and just knock you out. Like,
just go cock you.
Yeah, I for that I believe that 100%. I still beat off this off. Like I set it off. You know,
yeah, a woman of her size could be a brawler.
She's tough. No, she's tough.
No.
She has still the same amount of femininity. She does her, and she can knock you the fuck out, no matter who the fuck you are. Like they have to darken the camera so that you can't see the stump person throwing the kicks, but it's her throwing the punches, and it's like I hated it. I hated it for her. Like if I was her management, I would have been like, you know what, you got to get some final decision on how they film these things because they're not showing you in the right light as a fighter. You know, I think Queen Latifah could knock somebody out just 2 hands. That's it. No feet, no weapons. You know?
No, it's a good point. You got to understand how different body types are more effective in a fight, and her body type is not doing no martial arts.
Yeah,
but she could still kick some ass.
I mean, she could do some like what is it, the mini sticks, the Cali sticks. Like she could do that type of stuff with like improvisation. Like, oh, here's a fire extinguisher. I'll use that. You know, like she could do that for sure. Using the phone to smash somebody's face in, like, you know, shit like that. I would love to see her do. That's not happening in the female Equalizer.
She could do like my mama and take off her heel and be like, "What?"
Dude, like, and then she wears boots, so she could do that. You know, but they got laces.
She does wear boots. They do have laces. You're right.
Or they're slip-ons too. So every now and then she's like the motorcycle type. But realistically, it's like like if she had more easier, like maybe chef's clogs or something, she would really do some damage.
She should just wear Crocs.
No, they don't. You can't do nothing with. All you could do with Crocs is like get pegged.
People don't understand that Crocs were originally made to be able to recycle old dildos.
Wow.
And they were male birth control too.
Do you know that when they made the movie Idiocracy, they were looking for shoes to have the dumb people wear, and they chose Crocs before they were popular. And they became popular later.
Well, here's the thing. They became popular for a little bit, but everybody clowned on them. And now they're popular for real. Like now people love them.
They also elected a guy because he was a former pro wrestler.
Is that Donald Trump?
He's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just asking if that's
It
what
counts.
we're talking
That
about.
counts.
Well, you don't want.
Why
You
do
want
you
to
have
think
to
the
take my
odds will
joke?
make that correlation.
Why do you have
is
to
what
take my
we're trying-
joke and just smash it into the ground? Why can't you just?
I just,
Why can't you just get the smile and that's funny and then move on? Why do you have to question it every time?
Because
You know,
it sounds.
I know why you do it. You do that because you know it hurts me. Emotional.
I was just trying to make sure. I'm sorry.
He didn't
I was
think
like,
you
I
would,
guess-
you would equate Trump like that because you love Trump.
Yeah, but he's still got his issues.
Yeah, but look, but not everybody that loves him thinks like that. So
Everybody's rational. Everybody's drinking that Bud Light.
hey, don't get me started on that because they're having an issue with trans people with Bud Light. Bud Light has never been for men, in my opinion. I always call like if I see you drinking a Bud Light, I'm a homophobe, Larry. You know me and my family and other. Homophobe. I'm all for gay rights and equality, and all that. But if I see you drinking a Bud Light, I call you a fucking faggot. Not faggot.
No.
Fucking faggot. Yeah.
I've never had.
I don't think that makes it better.
I drank a Bud Light once. That was close enough.
I'm not saying I'm the right person. I'm just saying Bud Light's never been for men.
All right, Jay's running out of time, so we gotta get to these reviews.
Yeah.
We're going down
Let's
that
talk
path.
about. Look, let's do the friggin' movie.
Paths.
Let's do the movie.
I'll guess the math.
Oh, he's not gonna make it.
He's not gonna make it. Look at him.
He's not gonna make it. We need the movie theme. he's dead already.
I also have this. Why am I on the screen? Laughing makes me cough. You guys are too funny with your dark humor. I mean,
Dang. How dare you? I thought you don't see color.
no, but I see shades of light.
Oh, no. No.
So did the police.
Okay, where are we doing the?
I thought
movie
Jay's
theme?
playing the thing.
No, I don't have the movie review.
Okay. Okay. Give me one
Maybe this
second.
weekend I'll try and get all of them.
Yeah.
That sounds fair. We need theater.
Comic book theater.
I'm sorry.
Wait, we need to add that to the end of it. Kukulkan, feathered serpent god. I love it. Okay. Let's talk about Justice League, Cross RWBY, Superheroes, and Huntsmen, Part 1. Mo, I guess it's on you. Go for it, buddy.
I was trying to remove myself. But I guess I could
Too late. You're here now. You're here. Look, you front and center, goddamn. Look, take us home, Mo. Let's go.
It is is it the latest animated feature? From DC?
Yes.
But it's based on a Justice League slash RWBY, which I have no idea what RWBY is, but apparently it's some type of superhero group, but with its own physics and its own reality, an anime or something like that, maybe a manga. And somehow it got on Warner's radar, and they decided to make a bunch of DC stuff that connects to it. I don't know why they put so much energy into that instead of giving me a good Swamp Thing book or a good Hellblazer book. Oddly enough, I got a good Hellblazer in in the RWBY book, the RWBY DC crossover that we're gonna review later, but I'll talk about that later. But here it's basically a story of the Justice League being transformed and into younger versions of themselves and transported to the world where uh the RWBY live. I don't know why they're called RWBY. It's RWBY. Um RWBY maybe would
It's
be
the name of the 4 main characters. It's like their first
right,
name.
right.
Right.
But I don't know why it sounds like Ruby.
Oh
Like
yeah, that.
yeah,
But
that's
they
what I'm
yelled
saying.
at me when I called it Robbie.
Yeah, RWBY. Yeah, RWBY. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. But basically they hunt these things called grims that are these energy siphoning malignant type of think the deviants from the Eternals,
Yeah.
and they just slice them up and they disappear just like in the Eternals. And then
Yeah.
you know, and they have their hierarchy and stuff. I don't know enough about RWBY to see like what if they were even shown properly in these DC outings, but I got to know a lot more of their stuff through the DC movie and the DC the Justice League RWBY comic, and then now we have the DC one that we're reviewing later, but that's not what we're talking about right now. And so yeah, so it's definitely yeah, I would call this an anime. It's done in an anime style, but it's like 3D animation, and then
Hmm.
and it's you know, it's I've been complaining about these DC movies being too short, and this one, it it, it didn't feel too long, but it might have been by like 5 minutes.
That's fair. That's
And
fair.
that's what I have to say about
Jay, you brought this to the table for the most part. What is your experience with RWBY, man? And to like kind of just like maybe fill in the people or fill in the blanks for the audience listening. Like what is it? Because obviously they're familiar with Justice League, but what is RWBY and what's its deal when it's on its own?
Um, well, yeah, Ruby, they live in this world called Remnant. It's powered by an energy source called dust. Um, and they fight Grim. Uh, basically, there's a whole lot of like interpersonal stuff that goes on too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you're getting a cursory glance at what Ruby is by watching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my personal history with Ruby is I have not watched it yet. I'm planning on it, but I followed quite a bit of the hype. Um, so yeah, like I was hearing about it back when Monty first created it. Um, I hear bits and pieces from the various seasons. I know it's going into season 9 is about to start, and yeah, that's my history with Ruby.
Okay. Okay. And so you haven't actually gotten the opportunity to watch it on its own, but it is a
Well, I watched TV
relatively
Ruby.
got it. But it's pretty popular.
Yeah,
Like
9
and
seasons.
I, right and not they're right. And I'm just saying like and I say that because despite me not having watched any of it myself or, read any comics or anything, when you're like, hey, let's watch this or let's read these, I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen these characters like at conventions. I've seen them in uh like mass media roundup kind of stuff. Like these are all characters, or not all of them. I guess the main ones I've seen, whether it be like just in fan art, in promo art for things where like comic book stuff. Sometimes they just do mashups of different things. And so it's like when I saw these characters, and of course I was actually familiar with the concept of RWBY despite not necessarily knowing how to pronounce it. But I've seen it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't mention it is a Rooster Teeth property.
Just across, like in general. In general, or you mean just like that's who created it? Was like somebody from Rooster Teeth?
Well, they produce it.
Wow, that's wild. So okay. So it's and I mean Rooster Teeth is American based, right?
Yeah. I want to say they're in Texas, but I could be wrong.
So barely America is what you're saying?
You said it, not me.
Look, look, I'm just saying, I said America. You're like, no, well, Texas. So if you want to call that, if you want to call that America, how dare you, Jay? How dare you? They're still Americans.
Oh yeah, Austin, Texas.
Yeah, okay. And so it has an anime kind of feel to it, but, and I'm not, I mean, I'm not really trying to spark up the debate on what is and what isn't anime.
I know.
I just know that
on that like 6 months ago.
Right. I just know that there are people that would have something to say about us calling it anime, despite it being U.S. based. But either way, I mean, like I know that this is a pretty popular thing. And so I will say that I know for me, I was like, okay, like I'm ready to learn more. and I felt really silly because it took me a long time to realize, or way longer than it should have, that the whole RWBY thing was like a color-coded thing. Even though I'm pretty sure Jay has mentioned that to me once before.
You telling me, man?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't figure it out. Like I read that whole Justice League book and watched the movie, and I didn't realize till like the second DC book. Oh, you're color coded for because the yellow one's not yellow; it's orange.
Is the yellow one not yellow?
It looked orange to me in
Yang.
comics. Yeah,
I hear you. No, I can see where you're coming from with that.
and she was a
weigh in.
redhead. Like she was a ginger.
She is ginger, definitely, and
Yeah.
and it's like her hair and her costume.
Maybe that's
like,
red.
well, no, it's not red. It's
No, to me, ginger is red. Like I would like that's who I call red. Like I call people that are redheads red. Hey, what's up, red?
no, but
If they're fat, I
you're-
go "What's up, big red.
wait. If somebody is a ginger, is their hair red or is their hair?
Yeah, that's what ginger means.
Orange.
Red hair. Well, orange is still red.
But they call them redheads.
What? Wait, what? Orange is still red?
They call them redheads.
Yeah, it's still redhead. Even like a strawberry blonde, it's kind of on that borderline.
Yeah, they call those almost gingers. Like in their own family, they're like, "Oh, you
At
ginger."
that point, it just depends on the palitude.
Wait, strawberry blonde? Like,
Strawberries are red, Larry.
wait, but neither one of those are orange.
Again, like it's like a red nosed pit bull. A red nosed pit bull is a brown, but they call it red nose. Like that's just how it is. A blue pit bull they call blue, but it's gray. Like that's just how it is.
What color? What color hair is Ron Weasley?
He's a redhead.
Redhead.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
We
so,
have from a hair professional, expert in color theory. Orange is copper. Copper is red.
oh damn it, subcult. Look, listen. Way to muddy the waters. Orange is copper. Wait, listen.
And then
here's the thing.
is green, so green is red too.
Wait, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not mad at her because I'm sure she's correct. Orange is copper, and I believe that 100%. That like us uneducated folks over here that aren't like as familiar with color theory when it comes to hair. Well, I'm sorry. I won't.
Us. We're trying to convince you.
This is why I say I'm sorry. I'm not trying to lump you in there, Mo, because you know. But I'm just like
my integrity matters.
Right. Like I'm not trying to mess around and defame. I don't want to be in a friggin' lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit with PCH Barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how good y'all are.
You're gonna be the podcast with Don Lemon and that other fucker.
Right. So I'm just like, damn. But it's interesting because I'm just like, don't get me wrong, like you're right.
When you think redhead, you're thinking of like the tip of Mo's microphone. That's not a natural color in hair.
No. And I'm honestly not thinking that color, but you're right. Like I am thinking, but I'm not thinking orange. You know? And you're right though, but I think when you're right, like when you talk about people with orange hair, they are like the people with the redder hair and the people with the orange hair are all in that same category, right?
All these terms were created a long time ago when pink was just considered light red.
Right.
I like this statement right here. Mo is correct. Ginger is technically a redhead.
Right.
Ginger is something with reddish brown hair.
Right. And that's the whole thing where it's it's so funny because I don't think about hair color enough, apparently. Yeah. I'm just coming to the realization that when people are referring to gingers, we're talking about people that have more reddish hair, and we're talking about people that have more orangish hair, and people that have brownish hair, right? And it's just like, wow, like it's really interesting because like that's a lot to put into like one category, especially like when you're talking about because when you're talking about blondes, like there's a spectrum to blonde as well, but it kind of ranges from like basically like platinum to yellow, and that's not that big of a spectrum. Well, all things considered,
it's not a big of a spectrum, but there is a lot in there, especially when you start talking about highlights and things like that and lowlights. So and like what's going to neutralize that particular shade of yellow.
I don't even know what a low light is.
It becomes very complex because it's literally like painting, but on your hair.
Right.
Like so it's depending on what base color you have. If you want to like bleach it out, it's going to give you a second base color that's correspondent to that color. It's a whole color theory.
And then when we're talking about like brunettes,
I only cut dude's hair. I just cut dude's hair.
Right. And then we're talking about brunettes. I'm like, okay, I knew brunette has like a little bit of a spectrum, but not really. It's like dark brown to like black, and that's it.
Yeah. So
and it's just
maybe we could talk about Justice League RWBY now.
No. I'm more interested in color theory.
We are talking about that.
So this is the problem with Yang. It's like her hair is not the right color.
Right.
Wait, is it Yang?
It looks blonde to me.
Well, the thing is, when you call it RWBY and you call it RWBY, it's RWBY. So it's like you got red, white,
black,
black, and yellow. The yellow doesn't fit, and then the W doesn't sound like a U.
And that's the problem with it.
Yeah,
well, it's a double
and that's just the tip of the aggravation that I had just trying to make the fucking thumbnail with this shit. Yeah.
So like, and here's the thing. So let me just going back to like the base of what we're talking about here, and I just want to make sure that this is true what I'm about to say, and you all correct me if I'm wrong here. Unfortunately, technically speaking, none of us here have watched or read anything RWBY that's just like pure RWBY outside of Jay with the chibi stuff. Is that correct?
That is correct
Yeah.
for me.
Is that right, Jay? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad because I feel like we might be doing Ruby a disservice a little bit just because.
You
I mean,
feel
I don't unless, huh?
you feel bad?
Well, only because Jay watched the Chibi stuff, and the Chibi stuff might be an accurate representation of what Ruby actually is, but technically we don't
No, it's
know.
not.
Oh, okay. Well, Jay knows, even though he hasn't watched any of the actual Ruby stuff. I don't know how he knows that, but I have faith in Jay.
Like I said, I follow the hype.
Okay. Jay follows the hype. I love that. Look, I'm a Jay. That is my canned answer for when people try to challenge me on stuff, and they're like, "How do you know?" And I'm like, "Hey, I follow the hype." That's gonna be my canned. Hey, I follow the hype. What are they gonna say to that? You know, you don't. How do you know? How do you know what hype I follow and don't follow? It's like, do you follow the hype? Apparently not, or else you would agree with me. But there it is. So my whole thing is this: was I know that watching this movie, I was like, it's like I know what Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League, I know all those characters are like. I have no idea what characters in the RWBY universe are like.
Wait,
So
Ruby has a
Huh?
mouse?
a mouth?
A mouse. Like a little, eats cheese, all that. Where was this mouse in the whole anime?
Listen,
Or
man,
animation.
listen,
Or animation.
First of all, the joint had like 6 RWBY characters in it. We don't know room for no mouse. Okay,
The mouse is like on her.
no, we don't know room for that.
Would have made this.
That's all.
Better.
And that's the whole point I'm making, where it's like, I don't know if this is an accurate representation of what RWBY is actually like. And I can make an inference based on the fact of like the commonalities between what I
Does that
saw
mean
in the movie.
we're actually reviewing RWBY stuff tomorrow or next week?
Oh, I don't know. I
It
don't
feels
know.
like because of your question and how you delayed this review, we're
Wait,
gonna have to
We
do
delayed
it.
this review?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So this wasn't so the delay of the review wasn't
Now
the
you-
15-minute
you
conversation about hair color?
Yeah, that was your
That was
delay.
what I did that?
That's your delay. You clearly don't know hair. So technically we have to review like legit RWBY.
I blame subculture girl.
Like, she just confirmed I was right. She if she would have said
Infinite
that
knowledge.
in 2 minutes, we wouldn't have had that conversation. So
This is why I blame her. She should have acted sooner. No, but what I'm saying
If
is,
you guys are interested, I can get us the first 3 volumes, which I think. No, let me stop. But I can get us the first 3 volumes.
I'm down.
Wait.
I was intrigued enough from what I saw here and the wrong thing that I read and then the right thing that I read.
is that comics
me-
or movies or what?
Give me
Movie.
whatever point that this mouse joins the party.
What?
They're
Why
like
do you
pulling
think
like
this
carrots
mouse
out
so
of the
much?
ground, but instead of a carrot or a radish, it's cheese.
That doesn't
I
make any
love,
sense.
I love ground cheese.
What are y'all talking about?
Well,
I was raised by
I'll
eating
tell you.
cheese from the trash can.
No, jeez.
Everybody should get.
So
Just this image alone makes me want to watch this show, and I'm mad that no one has told me, "Hey, there's a mouse in this show."
can you put it onto the screen so we all can
It
see?
takes a while to share. Hold on, I gotta block all the porn.
Can you lock
All
all the
the-
porn and show us the
All the guy on
ground
guy.
cheese?
Yeah. Because if it was
like-
regular, like, awesome big titty bitch porn, like we'd get more ratings.
Guy on guy pouring Bud Light all over themselves.
They're jizzing Bud Light on each other's chest.
Because I'm just like, but yeah, my whole thing was like, is this what these characters are like? What are
Look,
in the
it's
world?
like a cat. They're like pulling it out of the ground. But
I
it's
literally had that. I had that for dinner yesterday.
a cheese
Like,
carrot.
no, so I mixed my carrots with my cheese with my greens. Like I made into like a cream spinach, but with like just regular ass American cheese.
Help me out here. Why is the mouse in the middle like in focus, but the one on the left not?
That's artistic choice. It's depth of field, Larry. You don't know
Yeah,
photography.
they're behind him like by a few feet.
Like it's actually a
What?
screen
No.
from the film. Like they're a few inches.
Oh,
but
so it's moving or something.
yeah,
He's in
what
the
it's
foreground and
moving,
they're in the back.
and they're
Yeah.
using a technique that makes it feel like they're using like a 70s 60s lens.
Listen,
Particularly a 50 mil Canon FD,
the
NFT. Sorry.
the mice in it to the right are in the background. That
They're
one
in
to
the
the left. That one
Yeah.
to the left has
They're
his
on-
hand on the cheese.
But when your camera
No,
has a
it doesn't. He has his hand behind the cheese. This
If your
one that
camera-
you're talking
look.
about is in the same line as these in the background.
Larry, again, that's another that's why we're gonna talk about RWBY next week.
You could see right here, like his little feet are down here, and look, they're actually
We
further
can't see
back
it.
than
Larry's
this mouse.
fixating on the wrong things. Like he's spending 15 minutes. I got to teach him like how an aperture works in photography now.
Oh, you can't see my mouse anymore.
No, I see your mouse right here. Like Larry, your questions are technical photography questions. They wanted a stylized look, and that's what that is. Like, there's no like you questioning it is not adding to the review, which is why we're going to talk about RWBY next week.
Let's talk about Justice League, RWBY, superheroes, and Huntsmen.
I like this better than the comic because in the comic they were just like there, like they're part of those people, and I didn't get to read to why they were there, so I don't know. The covers were done by Mirka Andolfo, which was amazing, but the interior art wasn't, and I'm not gonna say it should have been, but maybe like issue 4 should have been. But the story in the movie is a little different. It's like the worlds get like those heroes get drawn in, like your Cyborg, Flash, Batman, Superman, get drawn in, and they kind of handle it like this handles it that, and their power sets and everything a little better than the comic does. The comic just tries to make the Justice League be a part of the RWBY universe, whereas the movie is like, oh, they're brought in by what was it? What's his name? Kilgore. So spoilers. So it becomes more of a superhero, a DC superhero conflict that RWBY gets to help because that's where they get taken to, that world remnant. So I definitely liked the movie more than I did that Justice League comic. Even though I didn't finish it, but it just felt like but that concept, like changing that concept made me like it better. Like that makes more sense to me. That it plays out at the end right. Here it's like, oh, okay, now DC has a whole new universe that I have to follow with the comics because they're just part of that universe. It's kind of like Dark Knights of Steel. Like once you read Dark Knights of Steel and it's actually good, it has good art. Like you just want to read that one instead of the DC universe because the DC universe is shit right now. Like they got nothing but garbage everywhere unless you're like doing the One Bad Days or or some of the black labels. So DC is shit, but luckily they got RWBY to save it. And black label. So
hey, look, that's a hot take.
Yeah. It ain't
Jay.
Yeah.
Right, Jay. How do you feel about it? Does that take resonate with you at all in regards to how RWBY is portrayed and how it relates to what's happening with DC?
I don't know what's happening with DC. I know Green Lantern
It's
has a book coming out.
right
And I know
that
there's
we're all
like a new
hoping is good.
Titans book coming out.
Right.
So I'm looking
That I
forward
think
to
most
that.
of us are hoping is good too. Okay. What are your thoughts on Justice League Cross RWBY?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. It is different from the comic. In the comic, they're just part of that world. But this was fine too.
Now, when you say they're just part of that world, and when you say the comic, you're talking about the RWBY Justice League comic?
Yeah.
The one we thought we were supposed to read.
Yeah,
I did not think that.
the one I read by accident.
Got it. And when you say part of that world, which world is that? The world of DC
Remnant.
Comics?
It's Remnant.
Oh, who?
Like there's a scene where
I'm
they're
gonna
going.
read it.
There's a scene where the RWBY characters are going to a farm and Superman's just there, like doing farm stuff.
From the township of Kansas.
So in
Like,
this
literally,
comic,
like, the house of Nora, like the Allens, which is Nora and the dad. Like, so Nora Allen never died in the RWBY world. Nora and Barry Allen's dad and mom are still alive.
yeah, but
Little old lady.
what I'm saying is, RWBY world is Remnant, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the comic that y'all are talking about, the DC people live in Remnant just randomly?
They're just there. It's their new origin, new motivations, different motivations. Like, is Bruce Wayne still like a orphan? And I guess to a certain degree they kind of talk on that in the newer series that we'll review later, where like there's lore that crosses over. It's like, yeah,
Right.
and they talk about the orphan knight that slays the dragon, and
Right.
that's like a remnant, but not the world of like when those two universes kind of collided there,
Before.
before, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Oh, okay. If you got it.
No. I mean, but no. Say it anyway, just so for the people that may not have it, Jay.
Basically, they wanted to do a Justice League RWBY crossover, but DC wasn't fully committed to it, so they let them do these non-canonical versions of the characters from this world.
Okay, but I mean, is that is that showing that DC's not committed? Because it's like, I mean, aren't all of these non-canonical versions of the characters like?
These are canonical.
Which ones?
The DC RWBY and
Justice League RWBY.
or actually that might not be.
Okay, just the DC RWBY.
Yeah, DC RWBY is canonical.
Okay.
And Justice League RWBY is canonical to RWBY.
So it's two. Yeah. Okay.
So the movie that we're talking about is within the RWBY canon, not in the DC canon.
That one is separate. The comic is in the RWBY canon. The RWBY Justice League comic is in the RWBY canon, and the DC RWBY is in the DC canon, and the movie is just its own OVA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that sounds right to you, Jay. That's what you're saying.
For the, I believe so. I'm not 100%. I know this movie, when asked, they say this movie takes place after the current season. So
Of
I
what?
don't know
Okay.
if
Current
they're
season
like,
of RWBY?
yeah,
Okay, but not of anything DC, right?
right.
Okay, because those DC characters are DC characters brought in from somewhere, whether it's the Teen Titan or Young Justice, but and they're not, it's not the movies that we saw prior to this either. So
Wait, are there movies prior to this?
no, DC movies prior to this, like canon
Oh,
stuff.
got
Yeah,
it. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I hear what you're
it's
saying.
not none of those characters. So
Right, there's no version
yeah,
of these characters that existed
and there's
in
no
in an
there's
animated
no,
film.
there's no mice in this movie either. So I don't see how that connects to Ruby in general. But again, I'm no Ruby expert. I don't even want to call
The
it.
mice are key.
I call it Ruby under protest.
Right. Ruby in name only.
Yeah, Ruby Rhino.
Rhinos.
I'm just gonna call it Rhino with a W. You
Wait,
gotta have
what?
in there.
Oz, what are your thoughts on this movie?
I thought it was fine. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Jessica Cruz's hair bugged me.
Yeah.
And that
I understand giving her green highlights, but like she's got that one little leaf thing popping up, and her hair is literally brown on one side and green on the other.
that's where this movie kind of fucks up because it's following that Justice League comic when they're part of that universe. So, like, in the comic, like the Flash is like a faunus, like he's half animal and he's like half turtle, but he's a speedster. And then Jessica Cruz is like I don't know if she's a plant person, but she definitely like the design that they chose for Jessica Cruz were from that comic, not the DC comics.
Mm,
Yeah, I didn't like
that's interesting.
that she had her Green Lantern attire, but not her ring. But I guess Vixen taps into her powers without her necklace, so I can let that go. But I did like that they actually show that she's like got all kind of traumas to deal with.
Right.
So you rarely ever get to see that side of her in animated form anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially that Super Pets movie, like she was way too happy.
Wait, is she in the Super Pets movie?
Yeah, I told you.
That movie's in canon too.
Because the squirrel that she ends up adopting that is in the Super Pets movie ends up becoming Badge. Like it gets a ring and they call it Badge. I'm like, God damn it, I hate this.
Right. Jay, what, like, just based on what you watch and what what you've observed with the movie, are there places that you felt like it could have been better? Things that you would have liked to have seen different or improved?
No,
Perfect.
it was
Perfect movie.
great. Like, obviously, if I knew more RWBY, it would hit different. But I didn't feel lost or confused. And that's my main thing. Like, if I could go into something that it's written for people, like, it feels like it's written for people that are familiar with Justice League and RWBY. Like, it doesn't hold your hand through all the RWBY stuff. They give you just like the basics, like, we're here, we fight these. They don't normally do this. But other than that, like, it doesn't feel like I feel like if I was a RWBY fan, I wouldn't be annoyed with all the story and explanation that you normally get with these movies. where it's like, if you're a fan of one, then you're like, well, you're giving me a whole bunch of exposition I already know. They don't really do that here, but I'm still not lost or confused watching it.
Okay, cool. Um, Mo, what are your how did you enjoy Justice League Cross RWBY?
We're still talking about the movie, right?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah,
It's been a whole confusion with this thing.
Right. All right.
But the movie was fine. The last 15 minutes, we could have probably seen in about 5. Like it just felt like gratuitous anime shit that turns out it ain't even anime. It's done here in America.
How dare you?
But like once they find out Kilgore is it and he's in Flash's body, like it should be 5 minutes from there till we get the credits, And I've been clamoring for more of these feature length animated things, but make the story fit that. Like not time. It's not about the story. But but that's just me. So that definitely gets knocked down a point. Everything else works fine. Like I think like the segments between the different lands and even in reading that Justice League comic, like how different takes place in different sectors of Remnant, like they did that well here too. So it definitely only comes about 1.5 points. So it's about 3.5, 3.8 for me.
Okay.
It's entertaining. I don't know nothing about RWBY. I don't like calling it RWBY. And
because there's a W.
Yeah, because that's not like yeah.
Hey, you should just respect their choices, man.
Yeah. Look, that's they're not identifying a U as a W.
I think they are. I think that's exactly what they've done.
Nobody's stopping somebody with a U or a W to shit in the same bathroom as me. So this is a fight I can keep at, before the white supremacists and Proud Boys take over. I can still fight this,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 3.8 for me.
So Oz, what are your just like what just summarize what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
The story was fine. It's fine. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I want to see what they do for part 2. I hope the RWBY characters go into the superheroes world. That's what the comics did, right? The new one, they go into the real world, into the DC world, whereas
nerd.
It's real to you, Oz. That's okay.
So
that's all that matters.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with 4.
Part 2.
What?
That's what you're hoping for part 2?
Yeah, because this is part 1. So obviously, if there's a part 2, I want now they go, but I want them to remember this adventure. I don't want it to be like the book where it's like it feels like a different thing, and it's just a little weird because the whole thing looked like Breath of the Wild style animation, which it's not bad. It's just a little odd.
I agree.
It is, but I love it. I enjoy it. Yeah.
It's just the style.
Yeah. Well, and
2D. Yeah. Which is what it's almost like 3D, 2D, almost stop motion in some scenes, which is what I was trying to tell Jay that time I was high. Jay, man, can we invent a stop motion but 2D animation? And he's like, well, that's just animation. And I'm like, no, you don't get it, man.
You don't get it, man.
And then now we have this. More. Yeah, now we have this. Yeah.
So what I will say is this. I know for myself, I was just like, there were some things I really enjoyed about the movie. Where I was just like I think honestly most of that was more like the action sequences. From a story perspective, it was okay. You know, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Uh, Ultimately, the biggest thing for me, it was just like it doesn't feel like these two worlds fit together, and it's not like I'm saying it's forced or anything because it's like, especially being a person that's like not only been a comic book fan but been like a genre fan for all this time. It's like you have all types of things that cross over, right? And some of them fit better together than others. And like RWBY Justice League almost felt like the whole what is that? Like the X-Men Star Trek crossover. Where it's just like,
The book or the comic?
does it matter? It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't. They don't fit either way.
No, they kind of do fit in they don't fit as good as Legion Lost and Star Trek. I'll give you that.
Of course, and right, exact, and that's the whole point. And it's not even to say that it has to be the same thing, because some things fit. Like, for instance, there's no world where Ninja Turtles Batman makes a lot of sense, but when it does happen, you're like, this is actually working. I wouldn't have thought it worked, but it does. But RWBY Justice League, and here's the thing: the part, and this is the caveat or the asterisk I'll put on it. It doesn't feel that way for me, but at the same time, I don't know jack about RWBY. It's like all I know about RWBY is what I've read and what I've watched in these two crossovers. But in both of those things, it kind of feels like these worlds don't mesh that great.
But I think I know what you mean, because even in the movie, which is what I like most,
right,
after reading these comics or before reading some of these comics, but it is like they have to change like what you know about the DC characters to make
right,
and they kind of do that in the comics too. One just took place in Remnant, and that one feels like it fits better. And then this other one that we're gonna review in a little bit, like that has its issues, and it's like, yeah, we'll talk about those in a bit. But yeah, you definitely, like, that's where it feels forced, where it's like you're not getting, like, they have to de-age everybody and wipe their memories to make them fit, like, and depower. So
yeah, and so I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's a good.
It's a 3 out of 5 for me. Then yeah, you're
It
right.
doesn't feel like it's a good synergy for me. And so I mean,
it right.
well, I will take it. But the fact is, so yeah, I don't know, man. It's like the action sequences were good, and the story wasn't terrible or anything. It's just like I'm just not certain. I know I didn't get the best representation from this movie. I know I didn't get the best representation of the characters from DC, and I have a strong suspicion that I didn't get the best representation of the characters from RWBY either, even though I can't say that for fact because I don't know. But it doesn't feel like it to me. And so, yeah. So for that reason, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. So it's kind of, it doesn't sit great with me. But if you're just like, hey, I just want to see some like cool action sequences, this movie will give you that. And if you're like, I like RWBY, I like DC, like, give me both, this movie will scratch that itch 100%. So I can't be mad at it. So, okay, Mo, you rated it. You gave it a 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, what would you rate it?
I would give it a 4. It's well put together. I like the action scenes. I like Jessica's outfit.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And
Uh,
overall, I enjoyed not being lost, despite everything that was like going on. Like, I thought it was really good.
okay, cool. So 4 from Jay.
And
Oz,
if
what would
you
you rate it?
need to go
Oh,
and hurry up and finish watching or start watching RWBY.
there it is.
We got to because we're gonna review it next week to finally like lit so Larry could be content with knowing what RWBY is.
That's what it is. I need to be content. Right now, I'm in disarray. I'm like, everyone knows that about me. Oz, what would you rate Justice League, Cross, RWBY, Superheroes, and
I already
Huntsman,
did. I gave it
Part
a
1?
4.
A 4. There it is.
Even
You
without
know,
the mice?
huh?
Even without the mice?
Yeah, I do want that mouse, but I've never seen it, so it might be lame.
He loves that out of focus pose. Listen,
I think the autofocus was a marmot, but whatever. I haven't actually seen that episode.
I'm gonna give it. I honestly, I think I gotta give it like. I guess I give it a 3. Yeah, I give it a 3. It's like because it's not terrible to watch. It's just I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like the characters aren't necessarily being properly served.
Well, you hate the fact that they're all teenagers.
Why would I hate that?
I thought you hated kids.
Who said that?
Jay.
Well, yeah, that might be true. Jay said it.
And she's a kid.
I hate who? Hope?
Yeah.
Man, Hope is like 24 years old, man. You better stop it.
Still
Grown-ass
catching
woman,
you,
huh?
old man.
Look, Hope pay taxes. Stop it. Stop it with this Hope.
No, she
Hope.
doesn't. She's a citizen of Krakoa. They don't charge tax.
Out here
They have
talking about
socialized
Hope.
medicine.
Listen.
Okay, Boomer.
Hope.
Let's keep it moving.
So yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Just because I'm just not certain anybody is getting represented the way that they should be. But there are some fun things to see, and I think also too even though I understand and fully appreciate this is a part 1, like the resolution of this story isn't that satisfying.
I don't know. I thought 1080p is fine. I don't know what you were looking for exactly. Oh, because the background was blurry. I get it.
Right, because the bunny out of focus. I'm like, wait, where's that bunny cheese coming from? But no, I mean, it's just like we have like what Mo mentioned, where it's like the ending is probably a little bit longer than it should have been, and part of that length is like 10 minutes of us talking about this bad guy that's like the remnant bad guy, but they don't tell us who that guy is.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that they need to tell us who it is, but if you're not gonna talk, wait, oh, let me finish. If you're not gonna tell us who it is, then don't string it along for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just don't tell us who it is. Let's get to the end, and then maybe I'll be intrigued. Like, damn, I can't wait for part 2 because I'm like, who's this person? But at this point, I'm kind of like, I kind of don't care. Moses.
yeah, and that's pretty much what I was gonna say, except that they added Flourish, and that's money spent to like get people flying around, and it's like that's a bad usage of funds. And if you're telling me I can get a 3rd season of Final Space, but Warner is paying for this, like,
Right.
Those
Right.
last 10 minutes, that's at least about like, what, a good $8,000.
That's a,
You know,
right.
like
That's a third of the season.
yeah, or so that's where I'm like, like these decisions that Warner Discovery is doing, like this, like yeah, So I'm being mad judgmental about it. Like it fucks with my review because it's something I enjoyed, I can't enjoy fully because of the stupid corporate shit. But that's part of it. That's part of what we get. And
And I'm just saying, like, part of it is like, I'm not saying RWBY isn't popular because I know it is. What I'm saying is the Justice League is more popular. So it's like, and Kilgore is not like necessarily your whole like top tier Justice League villain that everybody's gonna know. And I don't think they did a great job with like telling you who Kilgore is, which they probably should have done. What I'm saying is, if you're going to tease an entirely different villain that hasn't been introduced in this entire movie, and we literally spent like 10 minutes talking about this dude, like roundabout. Well, dude or woman, I don't even know. All I'm saying is, give us something so that at the end we could be like intrigued by who this villain is, and we don't get that in this. Everybody just wakes up and they're like, "Oh, it might be them," and it's like, who? Like
the ones on the Bud Light can.
I don't. Might as well be. I don't even know, and that's the whole point. Where I'm like, dude, and I'm just like, look, I thought I'd be able to even come here and be like, Jay. So who is it that's probably going to be the villain in part 2? But I don't even Joe, you don't know who that is, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and so
I assume
I'm sure RWBY fans have a clue.
Yeah, but
I'm saying, yeah, but help the rest of us out.
Yeah,
No hand
That's the whole
holding.
point of the, huh?
So no hand holding.
Now, well, but here's the whole thing, though. The only reason you do a crossover is to attract a different audience, right? Like the whole point of this whole thing is someone like myself who wasn't watching RWBY beforehand might be like introduced into what like into like what's happening in that world.
The characters didn't sell you on RWBY. Like if the RWBY characters didn't sell you on RWBY, then some guy you've never heard of, I don't know that would do it either. It's like they could have given you a name and you'd have been like, name? Who is that?
No, but I don't. But I agree with that. Like I don't think it should have just been a name. It literally should have been like a person,
like
or not even a flashback. Like it can be.
It could have been the dude from Inspector Gadget. You just see a hand pulling the string.
Yeah, something to intrigue you to be like, I need to watch part 2. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that for some people that did work. Like, but for me, I was just like, I don't know. I feel like I could take or leave part 2, to be honest with you. Like, and
guess what, Larry? We're gonna be reviewing it.
I feel like RWBY, yeah, and it's like I said, I really do like if the cast of RWBY wasn't enough to like get you in, I don't think then them showing an extra character, like I don't see why that would do anything.
Okay, and that's fair.
You know what I think? I think Jay's trying to hold on to his youth by being into like all in this RWBY thing.
Wait, say do what?
No, I'm just being stupid. Like you're holding on to your youth by being on this RWBY thing because there's something new that us old farts don't know about.
But wait, how new is RWBY?
2012.
Yeah.
So 11 years ago? I don't know, man. That feels old to me.
He's never watched it. He's just kept up with the hype. Like, hi, children. What youngsters, fellow youngins? What are we talking about today? Oh, Robbie.
He's like, oh, he's like, I totally TikToked all over myself today.
I'm over here trying to import human growth hormone to keep my gays like into RWBY.
There it is. You're doing it wrong, Mo. You better watch more RWBY. You better get yourself a good pair of cat ears, you son of a bitch.
Well, look,
Actually,
depending on where this growth hormone comes from, I might have cat ears.
What are you saying, Jay?
We can watch RWBY for free on the Rooster Teeth site. So
Okay.
Oh, there it is. I might give that a try. Because, I mean, the characters aren't uninteresting.
I would want to watch them on their own. I
feel like they might be better on their own than intermingled with the Justice League.
The comic was sheer proof for me of that. Like reading this DC RWBY comic, aside from Constantine that smokes, like this. That's the only thing that RWBY brought to the table here. It's like now I get a Constantine that smokes again.
Right. Yeah. So okay, let's switch to DC / RWBY. Like, there it is.
Review.
Like
Review.
Well, not like that, but like.
I love it. Jay, why don't you start us off with DC / RWBY? Like, what's the deal with this book?
So the Grimm are showing up in Metropolis, and everyone that's near them is getting superpowers.
Wait, in Metropolis or in Gotham?
I meant to say Gotham.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of Metropolis. I don't know why.
It's okay.
But yeah, Grimm are showing up in Gotham, and people that are near them are getting superpowers. And the girls from RWBY have been sighted near these Grimm, and Batman goes to check it out, and he starts getting powers. And you're basically just trying to like figure out what's going on. What your wall is falling. Like,
oh no.
They're trying to figure out what's going on, why, and Batman is like really annoyed with the fact that he has powers now.
Yes.
And then the Bat family get powers.
Yes. Which I like. It's so funny that we went through this entire movie review and didn't mention semblances one time. Because it feels like they mention it so often in the movie, and then it does get mentioned in the comic as well. Because that's what they call like superpowers in Remnant, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. But Oz, you got the chance to check this book out. Like, as our resident DC guy, how do you feel about how the RWBY universe integrated into the DCU?
It was fine. I kind of like the costumes that they were wearing originally a little bit more than when they got their superhero costumes.
Wait, did they change costumes in the comic?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't even know if I
in the first issue. Yeah, they changed where like the one with the ears, like they made her look like
more Catwoman-y.
No, she looked more like Huntress. And then
Catwoman-y. That's what I said.
That's the easy way to go. And like the ginger or whatever, she looked more like
Dr. Redhead.
she looked more like what's her face, Barda.
Yeah. I did.
But
Yeah, I did
that's not what they
recognize
look
that.
like when they went in the world. That's just
You're right.
happens at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the original costumes better. But I do like they did what the movie did, which is they somehow got into this world, and their world is affecting the DC universe world, including giving people random ass powers. Because I guess everybody with a soul gets a power, and so when you're on Earth, that's gonna be 7 billion powers.
Way too many people that shouldn't have powers.
Wait, but it's not just a soul, right? You have to have like a good soul, right?
No, it's just a soul. Because then they go to Arkham, and don't the villains have powers too? I mean, like additional powers.
Well, the villains have powers, but the powers that the villains have are based, at least from what I read, on the fact that they're so like the Grims feed on negative emotions, and
so it's anybody with souls, really, because the people that got powers are feeding on like the who knows this whole thing.
Well,
I hated the prequel this week.
What I'm saying is that the powers that the evil people have are more so about being able to control the Grims that supposedly feed on people's negative emotions, but the cats at Arkham are so negative that they can control the Grims as opposed to being fed off by them.
Whatever.
Hey,
all I know is they meet Alfred. He has powers, and they're like, "Well, you have a soul. If you have a soul, you have powers." That's what it says in the book. So that's what I'm going with.
I agree. No, I agree with you.
I understand that it's weird to say that if you have a soul, you have powers, but you have a ginger who has powers. But that's a whole different thing.
Wow. Wow. How dare you? I'm so mad that first of all, the character design for Alfred, I hated. Like mustacheless Alfred. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that.
As Christopher Nolan, right?
It's also the new one.
Yeah. Like Alfred hasn't had a mustache in like 10 years.
I don't look in the movies, not in the comic. In the comic, Alfred has a mustache.
Yeah, nobody cares about the comics.
Yeah,
I care about comics.
Yeah, DC don't care about the comics.
Well, like when Alfred died, he had a mustache, so that's what Alfred has.
Maybe if he he wouldn't have died. Think about that.
Maybe he would have Maybe he would have just messed around and tapped into his semblance, and that was the other part that I disliked because
would have loved you. You will survive now.
They gave Alfred like servant powers, and I'm like, dude, like Alfred is a badass. Like why? Like I'm not saying that he can't. Like
he's like
here's the thing, right? That's what I'm saying. This fool's like, oh, whatever I need just pops up, and this fool got multiple hands to serve people with, not to fight, not to defend. Yeah, that's right. I'm just like, dude, like $100
a pound.
Well, I mean, the power, like even Batman's power, when he's describing it, everybody's like, "So you're Batman."
Right. But and that's the whole point where it's like, if you're getting to the essence of Batman, I get why he would have that power. If you get to the essence of Alfred, it's not a butler.
The man
and
make the guest happy.
Somebody that doesn't understand that is like, that's pretty sad to me. Where it's like, I'm not saying that he can't, like he can have multiple arms, but butler powers is not what Alfred deserves.
One of them should have been choking an intruder.
So I was like, I don't know, man. I was like very disappointed by that. He can
still buttle. If that's what a butler does, but he's also an assassin, and He could be stitching
Yeah.
up the wound, like
I think,
Yeah.
well, look, technically he describes his powers as whatever he wants and needs at the moment appears. No one was injured in that moment, so he doesn't need a sewing kit.
But you know what he does need? No, never mind.
A
Those girls
mustache.
are underage, right? Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I was just like, and this is like again like the whole thing where reading this book, I had the same feeling I had about watching the movie, where I'm like, I'm not sure these worlds go together, man. You know,
That's
it's
the whole
like,
point. It's two great tastes that are weird and funky together, but you eat them anyway because people figure you're supposed
No,
to
no,
enjoy
no.
it.
This isn't peanut butter and jelly. This is peanut butter and anchovies.
That's what I meant.
Which does sound good now.
Look,
That
anchovies on anything. Somebody said it was delicious on pizza. I beg to differ, but whatever.
I like
yeah,
anchovies
and
by
Or pineapple
themselves.
on pizza.
I actually don't like anchovies on anything other than by themselves.
I like them on Caesar salad.
Yeah, they're okay there.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It was a strange thing for me, and the other part of it that like the art, the and it's not even the art itself, because like they do end up changing artists like throughout the series, but I just felt like the storytelling in and of itself wasn't like top tier. Like and I don't blame it necessarily on the script. I do feel like it actually might be the artists themselves, where it's just like the way that they chose to convey what was happening through the pictures. Like neither artist, from because I read like 3 issues of it. Neither artist did a great job, and
Yeah,
that was kind of disappointing.
I felt like it was better for like moments, but not for the
Yeah.
flow of the story. You know,
Right,
so
and that
it's like
perfectly encapsulates it. Right.
when you start talking about like, oh, why it looks so different, like those panels look great. When the Joker, I guess, makes out with Nebula Kiwi legally,
Right.
like, is that the villain in the movie in part 2? Is that what it is?
No
Is that
idea.
yeah,
And that's the whole point. Where it's like, if
yeah,
you had teased me with a villain like that, I might have been like, oh, that looks
yeah.
kind of interesting. But you don't even tease me with it. All we got is random people waking up in a room. I'm just like, well, look, you want to talk about anticlimactic ass ending? That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I read this, and I'm just like, I don't know who this villain is. Never heard of them. But at the same time, I think they mentioned another villain too. I'm like, I don't know who that is either. I've never heard of them either. So I'm just like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like, neither one was interesting enough for me to be like, I need to make sure I read all these.
After watching the first movie and then reading the 3 issues, like, do you even care? Like, I know you did it for the movie. Like, you're like, whatever. Like, I don't need.
But I personally cared more about what I saw in the movie than I did in the comic.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a
like, I saw that happen, and I read issue 3. Well, the problem was I read issue 3. I thought it was issue 1 because the covers have all the same motif, and
right,
so they
right.
the same, except for issue 2. Issue 2 has a totally different color scheme.
Yeah.
So issue 1 and 3, the covers look exactly the same to me, and
yeah,
it's not a detailed thing. It's just it's a time thing. Like, what am I going to read first? And this is issue 1. Like, to me, that looked exactly like what I put in the thumbnail, and it was
right.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm like, and then I'm like, I kind of feel lost, but it's like that. I've kind of felt lost in the movie too. So it's like, oh, it's like the movie. Then like 3 pages in, I'm like, wait a minute, no, this is not. Let me make sure what. And I look at the cover. It's like, oh, issue 3. So I went back. I read that. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know how to do this RWBY shit. Maybe I'm too old for this shit, man.
You're outside the demographic, Mo.
Well, the comic at least was kind of like self-referential. Like, they call them cosplayers, and it's like, this is
Right.
weird. And then they're like, well, anything's weird to you, fucking boomer, James Gordon, piece of shit. And that's how I feel in life. Like, yeah, everything's old to me. Like, everything's weird to me.
That's hilarious. Oz, how did you feel about it, man? Like, you're our resident DC guy. Do you feel like the RWBY folks incorporated better into the DC universe than vice versa?
I thought the incorporation was better in the movie, but I didn't get like very far in the books either.
Okay.
But that's another thing. The story seemed to flow a lot better in the movie, but it's probably because you have less time. Or I don't know how many like 6 or 8, something like that.
I mean, I don't know how many they're gonna be, but I think they're only at 3.
Yeah,
they're at 3 right now. The first 2 are all Bat books. Like the third one crowbars in like 4 different like DC stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't give you enough. Like somehow Themyscira is in line with Remnant, like in a way that actually benefits the story better and everybody involved better. But they only get like 2 pages. Yeah.
And that was definitely something I know for myself.
Sorry to
that I kind of was. No. I'm just out here like I agree with you 100%. Where I was reading the first 2, and I'm like, man, like I know this joint's called DC RWBY, but this is Gotham RWBY, And it did open up in issue 3 a little bit.
Like they literally like make a call, like Birds of Prey, everybody. Like he's calling everybody that he needs to alert about this crisis. And I call it a crisis, pun intended, because it's a universe collapsing into this one. And it's and he literally just calls like all the Robins, Nightwing, Birds of Prey. I almost thought he was gonna forget that Orpheus is dead and just be like Orpheus. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, yeah. I mean, Oz, what say you, man? Again, like I feel like we cut you off. Like, is there any like redeeming qualities to this book that maybe we're not quite mentioning?
Oh, like you guys pretty much said it all. It's fine as a book, a little convoluted. It does feel like they're stretching for, I don't want to say time, but like for page count or whatever in some moments. But a lot of books do that. That's not something new.
That's
a lot
true.
of big 2 books do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking to Larry earlier. Like I don't feel like I'm reading this shit. This is what we're reviewing because there's nothing good happening in mainstream comics right now. Like I don't know what the fuck the problem is. Like half of the people writing it are either younger than me or my age, and it's like this isn't what we talked about on the fucking playground. Like when we get comics, you know what I mean? Like and it's like it's my peers doing it now. Before I was talking about older people and decisions they made and things I like, things I didn't like. Yeah, it's fine. Right now, it's like I'm talking to dudes that like I potentially could have gone to school with, or we could have gotten whipped by the same shit. We could have gotten molested by the same predator that hit in our church. But they're not. These comics aren't good right now. These big two comics aren't good. They're not making right editorial decisions. They're not making like shit. Like End of Spider-Verse. I should have loved that. The art is shit. The story isn't what it should be. So it's like I told Larry, I'm like I'm a read Spider-Boy. I might want to review that, but really I don't. I rather just read it and enjoy it or hate it on my own because it's something I do for myself, But yeah, that's just me. So, but at least as Humberto Ramos drawing it, like that
right.
That's easily a 3 point taking tugboat. What
also too
did I just join in?
What up, taking tugboat? Like, what I will say is, uh, and just in slight defense of Marvel, because that's what I do, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're not ready for that.
Oh no, boys. Okay. Uh, I'm enjoying the X-Men books.
Stay with me.
Like,
So stay with me. So if you're having girl,
Wrong button. Sorry.
oh, son of a bitch.
oh boy.
Thank you. I'm enjoying the X-Men books, and I feel like that's great reading. Like literally, like Immortal X-Men 11 came out today, which is the first book
But
after
Larry,
the.
like realistically, like someone like me, like we've talked off air about my understanding of this complex X-Men world, and even in taking on an apprentice, if you will, and explaining this new X-Men world to them, like I understand it better in explaining than actually reading. Like, but realistically, like, where would I start?
Well,
Like,
no, but and that's kind of part of what I was about to say, in the sense that we're coming out of Sins of Sinister, and this is literally like this portion of X-Men is ramping up to the fall of X, and so it's literally like we're kind of like the little in between section. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd be lying to you. Like if I told you like, hey, read Sins of Sin. I mean, if read Immortal X-Men 11. I feel like it's a comic that anybody that picked it up would probably be able to enjoy, but you don't get the most out of it unless you were reading Sins of Sinister. But you can read it on its own. It's like a issue that focuses on Storm and her dealing with the fallout of Sins of Sinister. And they tell you, like, they catch you up enough that you'll be like, okay, I understand what's happening. But again, if you didn't read it, you get a little bit less out of the issue. But I feel like the stuff that's happening, like I feel like Immortal X-Men is an exception. I feel like the other books that are coming out are going to be probably a little bit more new reader friendly, and I feel like when Fall of X starts, you probably can start there fresh, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. Also, too, Jed McKay is getting ready to start his run on Avengers, and I feel like that also is going to be like a good jumping on point for people, because this is Marvel basically saying like, okay, we know Avengers isn't what it should be right now. We're going to try to correct that. And so Jed McKay is out here trying to like get people to like get Avengers to be the book that it should be, considering how popular Avengers are.
if it's anything like Mary Jane and Black Cat, ...
It's actually the Avengers book is a direct sequel to Mary Jane and Black Cat. It literally, the last issue of Mary Jane and Black Cat leads directly into Avengers 1.
I've reached a point in my life where I don't think I can actually contribute to this show anymore. Like I really don't want to do anything new. Like I want to catch up on the shit I missed. Like I'm thinking about shit I missed out on. Like I didn't read House of X and Powers of 10 like that, like I should have. And I'm seeing it out. But one of the books that I didn't read was Black Hammer, right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I read it at the beginning. I loved it, and I didn't continue it. And it's like I bought every book at last WonderCon, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck new comics. Fuck them all. Fuck the comic shops. Fuck them all. They got nothing for me. Like I'll just read old shit. I'll go read my old and. Yeah,
Listen,
like
here's
I'll find
here's
problems in old shit, like living in the past, because I don't want to move to the future. Larry, I didn't even want to live this long. I didn't want to exist to this point, but here I am. so,
here I
so,
am.
so I'm like, you know what? I'm not moving forward for nothing. Fuck
Rock me
comics.
like a
Fuck,
hurricane.
that's it. Like fuck. Yeah. Fuck movies. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna just catch up
But
on shit I missed.
here's the whole
This
thing.
is where my life
Like,
ends. Either at least thematically, if not
I
actually like off myself. Yeah.
the beauty of comics to me
Fuck comics.
is the beauty of comics to me is that every week you potentially have the opportunity to pick up your new favorite book, because there's so many comics that come out, and like
Yeah.
how many first issues of comics comes out every week. And I'm not saying that it's like, it's not like 3 dozen new comics, even though some weeks it is. But what I'm saying to you is there's probably half a dozen books every week that are like number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
comic
huge.
shop my local comic shop don't have the ones,
Well, but you listen. I mean, but you listen. You're supposedly a digital guy. You can get them
I am.
digitally.
Comixology don't work.
Well, listen.
So
I can't help you
I
there.
gotta go bootleg, and bootleg's 1 week late.
Listen,
So,
I'm not here to tell you where to get
yeah,
your digital comics
I get it,
from or
Larry.
not.
You have a comment, but not the answer. I get it. You're just like everybody
Well,
else.
what I'm saying to you is, I believe that there are places to get digital comics in a timely manner that aren't Comixology or a week late bootleg. That's what I believe. I don't know that for fact because, generally speaking, I'm pretty much going to get physical books. But what I'm saying to you is there's hope. And so it's like, you don't have, like, especially you, Moses, like, you were always our indie book champion to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't have to mess around and buy these DC and these Marvel books. Like,
and that's the thing. Like, the quality of art in these indie books right now is amazing. There's a book on Kickstarter right now. I'm forgetting the name. I did the unboxing when we first started doing video during the pandemic for Metal Shade #1, and then one of the characters in that book got her own series. And I do want to give it a shout out, but I did, that wasn't a pre-produced thing. We do shit real here on Fantastic Forum. And easily just do a product placement thing, and without even
right.
getting, just because I love it. But it's a damn it. Okay, it says here new campaign Shrine #1 on Kickstarter. That shit's live right now. I might just go and do it because it has that like 90s like comic art, but the modern day story sensibilities. That's what Metal Shade was. Like, I think Jay literally said that. So that there's that right now, and it even has like the promo art isn't it's good. She has a second left foot, but that's like 90s shit too. So to me, like, that's mad like nostalgic.
Why?
Yeah, I had to bring it up because it's like I can't be honest about it if I'm not being honest about it. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, I know that, like, personally, I read a book relatively recently called The Forged that is by Greg Rucka, and the art is Eric Troutman, I think. I think that's Eric Troutman. I don't remember, but I think it's Eric Troutman. And I'm just like, and here's the thing: I'm a fan of Rucka, and but at the same time, it's like one of these things where I'm like, damn, like, the book I really like from him. Well, I mean, I won't say that I really like, but one of my favorite books of his is a book called Lazarus, which I've mentioned before on this show, like, throughout the years. And Lazarus is basically on a hiatus to make sure that they can keep on time when the next volume decides to come out, which will be whenever it happens. But this is another story that he wrote, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot, and I'm like, this is cool. That book, if I'm not mistaken, that book might be on like issue 3 right now. And I'm just like, like there are good books that are just out here that are different, doing something completely like outside the realm of big 2 books. So it's like, like comics, like people are out here making comics. So we got to go out there and find the stories, man. Find the books you like. Because so you don't have to be disappointed by like DC and Marvel if that's what's happening.
And that's the that's why I always like to buy shit directly from the artists and creators, because it's like, I know where my money is going. It's right, but that they got to pay for that plane ticket to where I'm gonna be for them to get that. Taking Tumbo in chat says, honestly, I have not been a fan of anything. RWBY. Hey, Larry, I'm talking to you, man. I was got nothing to contribute here, man.
No. Look, I'll be right back.
No, man, don't leave me alone with him. No. All right. He says, honestly, I have not been a fan of anything RWBY related since the end of Volume 3, and I don't know what Volume 3 fucking means. Like, is that a manga? Is that the series? Is that because I know nothing about RWBY aside from the DC shit. He also goes on to say, I feel like after Marvel Now and New 52, there's no longer a good starting place. That's a fair assessment. There has been good starting places, but they're not as prominent as like your Crises or Flashpoints. At least for DC. For Marvel, they just renumber everything. And he says the way Mo feels about comics is the way I feel about anime. I can't take it anymore. I'd rather catch up on my watch list than add to it. And with anime in general, like I'm kind of like that. Like I like different things, but I feel all of them are the same. I don't know. I was like, you used to watch anime back in the day when you used to get it from like 2020 video, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's a long time ago.
Just whatever you can get at the video store. So we would watch like romances, like romance dramas that are anime, just because they had that art style. We watch sci-fi, we watch horror, we watch fucking porn, just because it was in that anime style. And nowadays, everybody's like, I with my clients, I tell them, I'm like, dude, like you're fucking spoiled, man.
I remember going crazy when they came out with that Street Fighter anime, because I was like, oh, I know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. The backstory, like, and even that was like, they fiddled with the story a little bit. But yeah, definitely. Like, I know, like, I mean, watching, like, going to the video store and only finding like Diver. And it's like, oh, you want the live action or the anime? And it's like, there's a live action? And like, well, let me get both. It's like nowadays, it's like you have whole streaming services dedicated to anime. Like, and it's like some of them are free, some of them are paid for, or they have free options. It's like anybody and I think the quality of anime, because it's all the same shit. It's just a younger dude that is part of the system but feels outside of it, and then just becomes part of the system. Like that's really every anime right now. Like that's not what we were getting back then. We were getting like weird horror, body horror shit. We were getting weird porn shit. We were getting romantic porn shit. Like there was one I watched that was a like dinner party.
Stories. Like I used to watch Rurouni Kenshin, and I love the concept. It's a like he's the greatest killer. They call him man killer or something like that. Yeah. He's the greatest. He was the greatest one ever. And he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna kill anymore. And he still has all these dudes like constantly coming after him. Like, dude, we need to fight to the death. And he's like, what the fuck? I'm not supposed to kill anymore, but the fuck.
I remember like watching like Dororo, which was the dude that created like Kimba the White Lion that the Lion King is based on, that ripped off from anime. And it was literally a dude that was like a homunculi. Like these demons took all his like watching that anime like play out, and it looked like Astro Boy. Like it was the same people that did Astro Boy, you know. And I remember watching that shit, and it's like, yeah, over here it's like taking Tongbo's like after volume 3 of RWBY, I haven't watched. I'm like, you got way too many options, man. Like I don't even like RWBY like that, but it's like these anime kids are spoiled.
Yeah, look, there was a time where you could go to the video store and they'll be missing like half a season.
Look, that's how I watch Macross Plus. Like I watched like episode 1. I watched volume 1 because it was like 4 episodes in a tape on tape, and then I watched like volume 4, and I felt like I got the whole series, and I'm like, I'm good, you know.
And sometimes you wouldn't even know you're missing a chunk. That's how good they were. They like you could miss half a thing, and you still like knew what was going on.
All of a sudden, the Centrati are little too. I'm like, oh, cool, you know. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, now you got every fucking episode of Bleach, and they have to rename it and call it 10,000 Year Blood War to get me interested again because I stopped at episode 112. And I'm like, let me jump back in. Let me see. And all of a sudden, all these people have powers that didn't have powers before. You know what? I gotta go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Says the amount of anime that comes out in 1 month is greater than how much came out in the look, I don't know if that's what came out or didn't come out in the 90s. It's what we got. Like we only would get certain things. You know?
Oh yeah, no. More came out than what actually made it to America. But you know, that was a whole different time when it's like I remember watching Dragon Ball in Japanese. Yeah, because there was no fan translation.
Well, I remember.
Luckily, I had a friend that actually knew enough Japanese to tell me what was happening.
I remember when it would get canceled on the English channels because nobody was watching, and then. You know, I'd have to go to like Canal 22, KY. I used to call it KY because it's like the lube, but it was KWHY was the call letters of the station.
You nasty.
Hey, I've been nasty, girl. You know me. Yeah. But yeah, on channel 22, 7 a.m. right before I had to catch the bus. I always miss the last Goku grunts because I had to catch my bus by 7:25. I will catch it on the next day.
Yeah.
I watched more. I advanced further along in my Dragon Ball Z in Spanish than I did in English because it kept getting canceled. It got replaced by Sailor Moon on UPN.
That's wild. Okay. Yeah. Listen, this has been an amazing conversation. I've been listening, so I know what's happened since I went off. Before we continue, let's just rate DC /
Oh, we didn't do that?
No, we did DC / RWBY, so we can be done there, and we can keep talking if we want, or we can end the show, whatever you prefer. So, Oz, DC / RWBY, you know, what would you rate it from what you read? You read what, issue 1?
I read the first couple. I'm just gonna go with a 3. It's there. Some people like it. If you're a fan of RWBY, you'll probably enjoy it. I don't know.
Right. Listen, that all sounds very reasonable. Moses Magnum, what would you rate DC / RWBY?
I was enjoying it until around issue 2 or 3. I got an ad for Ra's al Ghul One Bad Day by Tom Taylor and Ivan Rice. And I'm like, you know what? I should be reading right now. So definitely knock back. Because after hearing those dudes talk, which you're gonna get if you follow us on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, the audio shit. I don't. We might have some video of it, but it's gonna be in minuscule form, like Oz's penis. And but definitely, or my penis. Fine, Larry. Fine. I'm not gonna project my penis in minuscule form. But yeah, definitely like I'm like, man, that's what a good comic looks like from the cover, or from the font, yeah. And it's like, and that angered me because, so whatever. Like, long story short, I was gonna give it about a 3.5. I'll give it a 2.5 because these aren't good comics. They're not. There's not what DC. I can't get a good Swamp Thing series. Ongoing series. A friend of mine, a close dear friend of mine, is like, "Hey man, this guy Ram V. I hear he's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, he's pretty good." And he's like, "He's writing Swamp Thing. Do you think I should read that?" I'm like, I said read it, but they're trying to turn that book into a superhero book, and it's not. That's not what Swamp Thing is, So I go, if you want to read a good one, read fucking what was it, Jeff Lemire, Green Hell? Was it Jeff? I don't even know. Yeah. But
Something Green Hell, yeah.
It's like Black Label is doing everything right, even for the people that shouldn't be on Black Label. So when I saw that Ra's al Ghul One Bad Day, I'm like, fuck, Ra's al Ghul One Bad. That I know that's gonna be fucking good. And if you want to hear why that's good, you can follow us on Spotify, Stitcher, Outcast, Castbox, iTunes.
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Outbox, inbox, your mom's box.
Oh, jeez. See, okay, I'm gonna stop. Let me stop you right there. I'm gonna go ahead and give DC/RWBY 2.5 as well, because like everything you said, Mo, I pretty much agree with. And this is why we're like friggin' comic book compadres, because because like I literally had the exact right. I had the exact same thought you did when I saw the ad for Ra's al Ghul One Bad Day, and I was just like, Tom Taylor and Ivan Reitman. Like, why did I know that happened? Which I was like, dude, like, and the here's the thing, that joint came out in March.
Yeah.
And so guess what I did? I went and got the joint, and I read it, and I was like, dude, it's so good. It's so good. It's so. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if I would go as far as to be like, because the whole point for One Bad Day was, let me tell the best stories for all of these characters. Yeah. And I'm not saying that, I don't know if I can say definitively, because we did Riddler on the show.
Yeah.
And Riddler, we had a genuine discussion. It's like, is this the best Riddler story? It might be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the Ra's al Ghul story is the best Ra's al Ghul story that's ever been told in comics. However, it's probably top 3. Like, I'm sitting here, I was reading this joint, and I was just like, I can only think of like maybe a story that I like more than this one, maybe. And even then, it's like, so I'm just like, I don't know. It's definitely top 3.
One of those stories is probably one of those cartoon stories.
Oh no, 100% is the cartoon story. It's 100%. It's 100%. It's not a comic book. It's a cartoon, and then there's another comic book story that I might be like, maybe, but I don't think so. And I was just like, and so I just say, I don't know. It might be the best Ra's al Ghul story that's ever been told. And like Tom Taylor doesn't miss, and and I feel bad. I don't know. Is it Reyes or Rice?
I call him Rice because
it's probably Rice.
We saw him. He's white, so it's not Reyes.
It could be like sometimes he could be Spanish. Right, but Rice, look, Rice's art's phenomenal. There's like a moment in that book that's like an homage, and I'm not even gonna say what it's an homage to. That I was just like, dude, like look at this guy work. And I'm just saying, like, it's one of these things where, like, this is when you know comics are, like, when comics do what they do, because Tom Taylor came up with a moment, and I don't know if Tom Taylor, because different comic writers write differently. I don't know if Tom Taylor said, hey, make it an homage to this moment, or if Tom Taylor just wrote the moment and Rice was like, oh, well, I can make it homage to this moment. And it's subtle. It's not even like a thing where it's like, oh, everybody that looks at it is going to see the homage. But if you're like a hardcore comic book fan, you're just going to look at it and be like, that's definitely an allusion to this moment in classic Batman fashion. And it's like, that's so cool.
You're going to have to decide when you listen to our Fantastic Forum bootleg edition of the panel that they were on together.
No, that's not them.
Tom Taylor and Ivan Rice?
No.
Who did we see?
You're doing the same thing. We saw Tom King.
And who?
And Tom King and who's Tom King work with all the time? It's not Rice. Damn it. Look, I did that same thing though, remember?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited to see Tom Taylor, and then for whatever reason, I was like, damn, it was Tom King, and damn it, who's Tom King? Mitch Gerads.
Yeah, never mind.
Which no, but he's great.
Yeah, but I can't tie it into the promotion of the one. I really
all right.
I fucked up.
No. It's just I didn't, But anyway, so okay. Take It Tugboat says classic Fantastic Forum discussion names like the substitute teacher on Key and Peele. Hey, Ron, is it where is even Racy? Even Racy.
Race. Boomblibe. Have you heard the Boomblibe?
Tom Tyler. Tom Tyler.
Tyler. Have you heard Boomblibe?
Boomblibe?
Yeah.
Who's Boomblibe? Dude.
When he's on Paramount Plus Mountain.
Not Boomblibe. Boomblibe. I love it. No, I didn't see that. That's too funny. Boomblibe.
Yeah.
All right. Look, it's definitely time for us to get out of here. Look. Oz is chugging the last of his friggin' no-dos.
He's like, why'd you leave me alone?
All right, let's play some wrap-up music.
Okay, let's see here.
Oh, man. Give us some final thoughts, man.
Oh, you didn't say a name.
Oh, I said Oz. Give us some final thoughts.
I didn't hear that part.
It's okay. Oz.
Yeah.
Oh,
Toast? Is that what you said?
it's the Key and Peele messing up their name.
Oh.
Oz.
Like, subscribe, do stuff, comment, do other stuff. Yeah. It's been a long time.
Right. It has been. Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Shout out to Take It Tumble in chat. I'm gonna chill with him on Sunday.
Nice.
It'll be a good time.
There it is. There it is.
He's a good designated driver. So.
There it is.
Also, yeah, we got stuff coming down the line. I know I've been working on stuff. I've been editing stuff, and I've been trying to get stuff still from WonderCon. Trying to make it like good for you for your consumption. I don't want to waste your time, and I get real neurotic with it, so it's taking a little longer. But it's coming. It's coming. I'm gonna be going out of town and make sure it's all done before I leave. So there's that. But you're only gonna get to see it if you like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And
There it is.
That is, it is my birthday.
Woo!
It's
Cinco de Mayo, baby!
It's a constant reminder that nothing matters, and life is futile. Permanence is not. Existence is just. There's non-existence is actually underrated. Like when you really think about it, 14 billion years before you were born, you didn't exist, and you were fine with it. At least I was. And yeah,
Facts.
yeah, man. Enjoy your time while you got it, and don't waste it.
There it is. Final thoughts from Taking Tugboat. Anime was a mistake. Comics was a mistake. Rewatch The Golden Girls. There it is from Taking Tugboat.
You watch different folks.
I mean, The Golden Girls was good though.
I used to watch,
but
I never liked them.
No,
they gave me a weird erection.
There, hey man, but nobody's mad at you. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. For all of those that are still here with us, thank you. Because you know that there's so many other things you could have been doing. You decided to chill out and hang out with us, and we appreciate you for that. We will be back next week. So until then, we are the Fantastic Forum. Good night.
My mom was mad at me.